Hey everyone, welcome to Kempner Canucks. My name is RevTrev, and I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to be talking what I would consider a controversial topic in Vancouver. The topic is the flow might go. The flow might go. And a couple, and was it last week before, I did a trade video about the Vancouver Canucks, and I added Brock Boeser to the name of possible players that we could trade. And the pushback on that has been wild. And I said, listen, depending on the contract, this might be the last season that Brock Boeser is a Vancouver Canuck. And everyone seemed to be really upset with me in the chat that I would even suggest such a thing. Okay. And I get it. I totally get it. I understand completely. It is really hard to think about the Vancouver Canucks without Brock Boeser. Okay. But he's a UFA, and all depends on how much money he wants, what's the term, all that kind of stuff. So today's video is the big question is, do you want the Canucks to re-sign Brock Boeser or trade him if the deal is what has been rumored, $8 million times 8 years? So post in the comments, whether you're here in the live chat or in the watching this later in the comments, I'd appreciate it. So this is the big question. Do you want the Canucks to resign? Now, I want to just say a couple things before we get into that. But I want to just say first and foremost that I absolutely love Brock Boeser. He's a great teammate. Love having him on the Canucks. He plays well with JT Miller. He is a scorer, and that's hard to find in the NHL. And most importantly, he's a high character guy, and the Canucks have stuck with Brock Boeser. And last year, we saw the fruits of their patience and their labor, and loved that we had drafted him. I'm still in shock that the Minnesota Wild did not take him a few picks earlier. Minnesota boy, the whole thing. So why did they not do that? They took Joel Eriksson Ek instead. He's still playing for the team. He's still one of their main centers, either first or second line centers. So I get it. That was the need, but still in shock that Minnesota did not take Brock Boeser. I'm so glad though, because we have enjoyed having him on our team. So when it comes to this, like I don't know what the answer is. I think there's been no talks lately about his contract, but the rumor has been going out that it is an 8 times 8, and I think a lot of fans have no problem, and I think for me, I don't have a problem if the deal is for $8 million. I think that's definitely in the price range for him, but it's not the dollar amount, but the most concerning is the long term. It's the long term. And you start looking at it about why this is so concerning. Now, let's look at a little bit of his stats for a moment, and I'll bring it up here. Actually, let me just go to the Puckpedia first. Puckpedia, where is that? Right here. Okay. I wanted to show you like what it looks like. So right now, he is making $6.65 million, and he's been, frankly, a little bit overpaid just because of the injury history he's had. But look at all these other ones. Okay. So he's 27 years old, right-handed shot, right winger. And here he is. Like, so if you give him 8 years, that doesn't kick in until next year. So he's going to be 28 when that happens. So that means that he's going to be 36 when he's done, right? 36 when he's done. And look at Pettersson's contract ends on 2023. Miller's 2023. DeBrusk 2031. Dakota Joshua 2028. Hoaglander's 2028. So you got a couple guys locked in long term, right? And then you've got Hronek 2032. You've got Hughes. What's Hughes going to want, everyone? What is Hughes going to want? 7.85. He's going to get monster numbers in Vancouver. I know the cap's going up, but it's just crazy to think about. Myers will be done in a couple of years, and we don't have anyone sitting there. But look at Thatcher. His contract is coming up again as well, and we've underpaid him. Do we continue working with him? What do we do with Lankinen? Like, there's just not. How do you put another $8 million in here? You got Connor Garland coming up. This is interesting stuff, everyone. This is absolutely fascinating. I don't know what you do with this. I don't know what you do with this. It's so complicated. And I get cap is going up, but 8 years is a long time. And that's what really concerns me. Honestly, it's what really concerns me about this. Now, I do, a lot of people say, well, 40 goal scorers are hard to find. It's true. It's true. Absolutely true. I mean, you get the Ovechkins and the Matthews and those guys who are like crazy, but not us, right? So, but how many times is going to hit that mark in the next contract? That's something you got to think about. Okay. It's not what you've done for me in the past only. It's also what are you going to do for me in the future? That was the thing that Canuck fans were most concerned about when we signed Pettersson to the big contract and the big deal, right? So think about it that way. Now, and the other thing regarding the 40-goal scorer, not only how many times will he hit that he's only been a 40-goal scorer once, and that was last year. And it's been the first year where he was really healthy. This is the other thing that he's dealt with is health. So 29 was his next highest. Think about that for a minute. 29. Are you wanting to pay 8 times 8 for a 29 goals scorer? Let's give him for a 30 goal scorer, okay? Because I can see him hitting 30 a number of times. I predicted he was going to get 35 last year. He got 40. So that's impressive, right? Absolutely impressive that he got 40 goals last year in 81 games. But 29 was his first year as a rookie. He got 26 before that. I'll show this to you because you've got to see this. Let me just bring it up here. It's kind of glitching here, isn't it? I'll throw it right here and bring it up. Okay, let's go to share screen, and here we are. So look at this, okay? So 62 games, 29 goals to start it. It was amazing. Then he had 62 games, 29 goals. 69 games, 26 goals. I mean, the future was bright in Vancouver. And then we went through those years where it was awful. He only played 57, 56, 16 goals, 23 goals. Then he played 71 games, 23, 74, 18. And then last year, his father was not doing well. His father passed away. And he was also coming off of an injury. So I do attribute some of that to there. Making $6.65 million, right? If you look at there. But last year, earned his money for sure. Highest point totals, playing with JT Miller. And then this year, he's only played 20 of the 28 games. And I don't think this is updated yet. Does he have 8 goals or 9 goals? I can't remember. Just because tonight against Florida, he had a goal. So let me just see what it's saying. Saying here. It will say it in the game center. So let's just quickly go there. Brock has his 8th goal. So if you look at it, he's got 8 goals and 19 points. So he's almost a point per game guy, which is awesome. But he missed a bunch of games due to injury. Again, he was injured during the playoffs for Game 7 with a blood clot. So serious stuff, right? Absolutely serious stuff. And he's walked through so many serious things. But does that warrant giving him an 8-year contract, because in my opinion, those injuries of Brock are concerning, I would be more willing, and I don't know if Brock will, because he probably will get the 8 years on the market, is that Brock, like, will he take a team-friendly deal? And he might. He actually might. He is fantastic, but he is a team player. This is the team that he's been with the whole time. He just celebrated his 500th game with one organization. He said he's so happy to do that, right? And if he did, like, people say, well, what's a team-friendly deal? Actually, that's what I say. And a lot of people are like, oh, 7.5, 7.7 times 8. That's not a team-friendly deal. If it's 8 times 8, that means that's what he's going to go for. I think a team-friendly deal would be 8 times 6 years. 8 million times 6 years. That's a team-friendly deal. I think 9 million at 4 years, or 10 million at 4 years, would be better. But how do you do that? How do you do that with all that stuff? So it really depends on how Brock plays this season and how he continues and he finishes off the year. Because if he's struggling or it's injured again or whatever, I think you move him at the deadline. Now, I don't want to move him. I just love watching him play, but he's not the fastest guy. He has some physicality. He has offensive skill for sure. Good guy to be on the power play, good guy to be in the locker room, that whole thing. But if you think about it, just for a moment, the Canucks might have to move him. And especially depending on whether we're in the playoffs or not, what can we get in return? That's something that we logistically have to ask ourselves. Do we re-sign Brock or we trade him? And it would be hard to trade someone like that. So, I don't know. Post in the comments what you think. I'm really, really interested to see what you think. I've recorded this previously, so this isn't a live that's happening right now, even though it's being broadcast as a live. And I just want to give a couple more comments, but I forgot to show my promo. So check this out. So the question is that if we do trade him, what do we get for him? What do we get for him? And that is the big question in my books. It's like, what can you get? Are we talking assets? Are we talking draft picks? Are we talking prospects? Are we talking player? I think a player would have to come back in return. And who would be a good fit with JT Miller? I mean, obviously you can land a free agent. Maybe you just want picks and prospects, and then in the offseason, you're going to try to land a Jake DeBrusk or someone like that, right? Or you want to just pay Quinn Hughes or whatever it is. But you're paying Hronek a lot of money, right? You're paying Hronek a ton of cash. And so it's hard to know. It's hard to know what to do here. But the thing is that Brock is a really loyal guy. I think he wants to stay in Vancouver. Absolutely wants to stay in Vancouver. But what do you get? What would you get for Brock Boeser? It's easy to say just move him, but often when you trade the best player in the deal, you don't get the return that you're hoping. Now, if there's a guy who you're going to get who ends up being like healthy, you know what I mean? And then, you're paying him $5 million instead of $8 million, and he's going to have some kind of good production. I mean, like a Garland type guy, like not like, Garland's had a solid year this year, like a real solid year this year, and he's making just under 5. DeBrusk is 5. Is it 5 or 5.5? If memory serves me correctly there. Let's just go back there just for a second. Yeah. So DeBrusk's 5.5, right? So I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. It's like you can't fill him with like guys like Heinen or maybe Joshua gets up there at that time. Maybe Lecker Mackey is the guy it's going to come and produce for us. Maybe it's someone else. I'm not sure. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of term. I think it's something we have to seriously consider and think about. And if you think about the Flames deal, when they traded Matthew Tkachuk away, getting Huberdeau was terrible. Did not pan out for them. So usually when you're playing the best player, you're trading the best player in the trade, you don't get like that. Should have been great return to get Huberdeau. I don't understand why he's struggling so bad. But there are other players out there that can produce that. Like, I mean, Nashus before this year, he was kind of a guy that was on the trade block. That would have been a great trade to get, great guy to get. But now it's too late. You can't get him. Like you can't get him. Can't get him. So can you find someone like that? Like, you don't want to trade for a Brad Marchand or someone at the end of their career. I know I just said the worst name ever for Vancouver Canucks fans, but someone with some experience, with some pedigree, who's out there. And that's the hardest thing to find. So again, post in the comments what you think. Do you want them to sign Brock Boeser, or do you want them to trade him? There's nothing heating up yet. It's just, this is all speculation at this time, but it's super interesting talk. Thank you so much for watching this. As you know, I cannot live stream on Saturday. I'm going to the Packers and Seahawks game in Seattle. I can cheer my Packers on, and hope that Vancouver wins, like Shannon said, 6-3. That would be awesome. That would absolutely be awesome. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't hit the like and subscribe, please do. I appreciate the support. And follow me on all my socials: Blue Sky, X, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. I'd appreciate it. Have a good day. And of course, always, we'll be watching this Brock Boeser news as it's coming to its fruition. I have a feeling the Canucks are going to sign him. I just don't know what the term is going to be, and it'll be very interesting. Have a good day, and go Canucks go.